2019 Toyota RAV4. This is the limited trim edition. Going to talk to you about the styling, the specs, the horsepower, talk about the wheel and tire combination, how much it will tow, and then Nathan later will take you for a tour of the inside and show you all the technology that's built into this car. And then finally we're going to take it out on the road and give you our impressions and just our feedback on what we think of this vehicle. And at the end we'll wrap it up with our most favorite thing about the vehicle. So come on, let's take a ride! On the front of the car you see the multi-LED headlights and LED daytime running lights with the integrated fog lights. But one of the nice details that I do like are the parking sensors. You can see them on the bumper, but you can't really see them how nicely integrated they are into the grille. I'll give you a close-up shot of that. It's just the attention to detail that I really like, and it's a nice way of camouflaging this item that is greatly needed and very useful, but Toyota nicely hides it inside the grille. Okay, on the Toyota, to lock and unlock the doors, Toyota has a sensor on the outside of the door handle, and with the key in your hand all you have to do is approach the car, push the little ridges, and Toyota does have a sensor, and that will unlock the door. You put your finger on the little ridges and that will lock the door. These have got to be some of the most beautiful wheels that I've seen on a production vehicle. They've got a nice satiny sheen to them. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love them, and just fantastic on this vehicle. And on the RAV4 you're talking 17 to 19-inch wheels. You see the turn signal indicator in the rearview mirror, the outside rearview mirrors. This particular model is the Limited, and it does have the sunroof. I like the nice black rails. Love the little detail here of the floating roof design. A lot of the manufacturers are going to that. I think Toyota does an excellent job in pulling that design feature and tying it in. You got just enough chrome and just enough black. I love the cut lines on the side of this vehicle. It gives it a sense of masculinity, but it also gives it a sense of motion. And you see the fender flares as well. Yep, there's the cut lines. Nicely done, nicely executed. On the back side, I like the tail lights. They do remind me of some of the other manufacturers, but it's a nice take. You see the dual exhaust. Now there are LED tail lights and stop lights. However, the indicator lights are incandescent. Very nice looking vehicle, very well done with the creases, the lines. There aren't many angles of this vehicle that are not attractive. I think it's much more masculine and is, if you will, more butch looking than it had been in the past. That was a criticism of the past models. They had become more feminine looking, and I know a lot of people use that terminology with vehicles. But I think Toyota's done an excellent job on the design of the new RAV4. There are 5 trim levels: the LE, XLE, XLE Premium, Adventure, and Limited. This is the Limited, as I said before. And price ranges from $25,500 to $33,500 as the starting MSRPs for each trim level. They are all powered by an 8-speed transmission. Fuel economy is 26 city, 35 highway, and 30 combined. It's got a 14.5 gallon fuel tank. Like how the roof spoiler is nicely integrated. You see the third stoplight up there. Right above the license plate, of course, there is the multi-angle rear view camera. There are 3 drive modes: the Sport, Eco, and Normal. Smart key system on the front doors and lift gate with push button start, remote keyless entry, with lock, unlock, panic, and power liftgate with jam protection functions and remote illuminated entry. This does have independent McPherson strut front suspension and a multi-link rear suspension, 8.4 to 8.6 inches of ground clearance, and 19 and 21 degree approach and departure angles, because Toyota really is stepping up their game here, and they want you to take this vehicle off-road. This vehicle does sit on the new Toyota Global Architecture TNGA platform. Longer, wider stance, it's more responsive handling, and stronger core equals a more smooth and confident ride. There's dynamic torque vectoring, all-wheel drive, that improves stability by sending up to 50% of the power to the rear wheels, and multi-terrain select on all-wheel drives with mud and sand, rock and dirt and snow. This is the 5th generation RAV4. This was the first compact crossover SUV. Toyota did pioneer this market segment. And Toyota does describe the new 2019 RAV4 in 2 words: capable performance. And I have to agree, you know, with the new RAV4, roughing it never looked so good. Let's take a look inside the vehicle. Now, cargo volume is 69.8 cubic feet behind the front seats and 37.5 cubic feet behind the second row. And of course, you did see the available power liftgate. Now, standard RAV models can tow 1,500 pounds, and the Adventure model can tow 3,500 pounds. Lots of capacity back here. Like I said, with the seats up, you're looking at 37.5 cubic feet right there. This one does have the utility mat, and it also has the cover, cargo cover. All RAV4s are powered by a 2.5-liter inline 16-valve 4-cylinder engine with an 8-speed transmission. This engine is good for 203 horsepower and 184 foot-pound of torque. And as I said earlier, up to 35 miles to the gallon on the highway, 30 combined. Okay, so that's the review of the outside of the 2019 Toyota RAV4. And now I'm going to hand it off to Nathan to take you on a tour of all the technology, the fit, the finish, and the comfort of the inside of the vehicle. Nathan, take it away.
All right, come on inside. Let's take a look. Look out on the inside of the 2019 Toyota RAV4. This happens to be the limited edition. We'll take a look at starting just the driver's seats here. We got 8-way power with a 2-position lumbar. The lumbar is a lower lumbar that bulges out right here and then recesses with the buttons. On the passenger's side, we have manual controls. We have a manual recline right here and a manual forward and backwards right there. Here's a quick look at the dashboard. You've got an analog to tach, and then fuel and engine temperature, and then a digital display for the speedometer and the multi-information display in the middle, which we'll get to in a little bit. You've got a nice 7-inch screen in the middle here with physical control buttons. Your dual zone climate control. Heated and cooled front seats, both driver and passenger. You got another nice little storage tray down here, along with a USB and a 3.5 millimeter input jack and a 12-volt 120-watt outlet. Now, moving back a little bit, you've got all of your basic driver controls. I must admit, I do like the physical shift knob. You got dual cup holders here. All right, stepping into the back of the Toyota RAV4, first thing I notice is the heated second row seats. You do have a center armrest that has 2 cup holders. The RAV4 comes with a total of 8 beverage holders. There's 4 cup holders and 4 bottle holders. You do have a map pocket behind the passenger seat, not behind the driver's. And then in the center, you have your air controls here. So you have on and off, and then you can change the directions, as well as 2 more USB chargers. The 2019 Toyota RAV4 comes standard with Toyota Safety Sense 2.0, which includes pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, full speed range dynamic radar cruise control, lane departure alert with steering assist, lane tracing assist, automatic high beams, road sign assist, along with the STAR safety system, which includes vehicle stability control, traction control, anti-lock brakes, electronic brake force distribution, brake assist, and smart stop technology. 8 airbags. Basically, if you take a look at the steering wheel, and right side and left side here, we're going to start with these control buttons, because these take you through the basic menu. So if you look at the dashboard, as I press the left, or I can press the right arrow, but I'm going to press the right arrow. Pressing the right arrow, I go through and you can see the bottom, music, settings, driver info, settings, and messages for like from the vehicle, fuel economy. So once you get on one of these, if I click on OK in the middle here, then if there's another setting that I can manipulate, I can then do that. The up and down arrows will take you through any sub-menus contained in that particular menu. This vehicle does come with full-speed dynamic range radar cruise control, which means it'll operate at any speed. So if you're in stop-and-go traffic, it will keep you a certain distance, your preset distance from a car, and then it will bring you to a full stop. And it will, when you hit resume, when the car ahead of you takes off, it will take off and follow. This one does have a pedestrian alert as well. Hey, so over here on the right side, you've got your cruise control settings. You've got forward and backward button for your stereo. You also have a mode button. This has to do with your infotainment center, okay? So it shows up, let me get out of this picture here. So now it'll show up in your dashboard as to what you're watching, and you can switch between the various modes available. So AM, FM radio, Sirius, and then Sirius XM satellite. And that's all done from this mode button. And then you can fast forward and rewind, and volume controls over here. This does have a Bluetooth, and you can hook in your phone in, and you can do some voice commands. You can also access Siri on your phone. Okay, so taking a look at the infotainment system in the 2019 Toyota RAV4, you've got a very nice 7-inch screen, and you have got physical controls on the left and the right, which is a really nice feature. It's also soft touch, so you can use the screen to manipulate the data. One of the things that I like about this screen is it is a split screen. So, for instance, if I go to map right now, okay, and I plugged in a route going to McDonald's, and I get a full screen, okay? If I go to the audio button, okay, again, I have full screen. If I go to home, I get a split screen. Okay, with the Entune 3.0 system in the Toyota RAV4, it does have Apple CarPlay. So if you just take your phone and plug in your lightning cord right here, plugs down here into the multimedia USB port, which does also charge your iPad or your phone at the same time. Then you can enable CarPlay up here, and you get these apps that it's actually running through your phone's cellular service, but you're able to control it from up here. So moving down, you do have dual climate control in this vehicle. Moving down here, you got a nice physical shift knob. I like this shift knob. You have got, of course, your regular gear selectors, but you do have sequentially shift here. If you pull it down into drive, and then you bump the shift lever over, it physically moves over. And now you've got a plus and minus. So as you go through your gears, you can see them changing on the left. So there's first gear, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. And there we are. Put it, and they just shove it backward and put it into drive. You got an electronic parking brake. You do have the brake hold feature. Again, if this is engaged, if you come to a stop in traffic and you take your foot off the brake, the vehicle will still remain braked until you press the accelerator. You have an eco mode, a normal mode, and a sport mode for driving. Here you have a control, because this is all-wheel drive, you do have control for mudded sand and rock and dirt. Okay. All right, so sitting in the back of the 2019 Toyota RAV4, you're going to notice I have about 4 inches of leg space. The seat is where I left it when I was in there for looking at the instruments in the front. So plenty of leg room, very comfortable. The seats are high off the ground, or the floor's been lowered, something, but you've got a lot of comfortable room for your feet. All right, so here we are, off on a ride in the 2019 Toyota RAV4 Limited Edition. You know, the steering is nice and again, tight. It's interesting. Now, this has got 8 gears, I believe.
8-speed, yes.
And it's really nice. I mean, we're doing about 60... not quite 65, we're in a 65 zone, and the RPMs are sitting down at just above 1500.
Wow.
I'm liking the seat. I got the heated steering wheel on. That's comfortable. The heated seat is very pleasant. On the dashboard, you do get a little green economy sign when you're doing a good job. So far, mine showed up like exactly 1 time, but that's me driving.
It's flashing danger, danger, danger.
Danger.
It
feels comfortable.
I really like everything you touch up here is soft touch.
Yeah. This does have, I showed you earlier the
camera?
No, the front, the front sensors.
Oh.
The front parking sensors.
Did you talk about, does this one have the backup camera? As well as the backup mirror?
So this has, I believe, the backup mirror, but I haven't been able to...
It's a switch up here.
Okay, so...
That's all you have to do.
Okay, so we
put it in reverse and try.
So, well, here, hang on a minute. So hang on, folks. I'm going to take my camera out here a minute, and I am going to show you this really cool feature. So here's the rear view mirror. And if I take this switch back here, just like the flick switch, it now is a digital rear view mirror. Meaning it doesn't see my phone, it doesn't see my hand. So if you have people in the back or luggage blocking your rear view mirror, you can turn this digital one on and still see out of your back. Okay. I have got it set. Oh, the lane assist is already working. I had the lane assist set, and it's turning the wheel. It's keeping me right in the middle of the lane. It doesn't like my driving, Rob.
Good to know the car's a much better driver than they did.
It seriously is. I mean, my hands are I've got them around the steering wheel.
And now I see that it's showing like a radar sonar signal back and forth to the vehicle. Now, what happens there? The vehicle just went over to another lane. Does it automatically turn that off?
I don't know.
Okay, it's picked up another vehicle. That's interesting.
And now it's automatically...
And it's keeping your safe distance?
Keeping my distance. So
he goes to
we just slowed down like 6 miles an hour, and now we've got a new person in front of us, and it's adapting to that. Old steering wheel telling me. Wow. Oh, I love this. I'm taking this one home. We're not bringing this one back. It's got too many. Oh, it really de-excited. That guy's braking.
How about
Did you feel that?
I did. I thought
so.
You
watched that pickup just go. We're not bringing this back.
They merged.
All right, so we are going to switch drivers. I'd like the digital spirometer. You watch that. It's like got a half a needle that goes around it so it doesn't cover up anything else.
All right. My turn. Here we go.
Okay, my turn again. You drove 2 inches.
All right. And we're in an ice and snow-filled parking lot, and I want to do that on purpose because I wanted to see how the braking is, and I want to see how the all-wheel drive is. So we're going to put on the brakes real quick. Right now, I'm doing 20 miles an hour. Nice, solid, firm, straight stop, and going to give it the gas. Boy, that
works good.
All-wheel drive really works nice. Turn it real quick, and it's turning on the ice. Yeah, wow, very responsive. This is very comfortable. It's very quiet. I love the design of the interior. I just made a U-turn at a stoplight to come back the way we were going, a legal U-turn. And the turn on this is very tight. I don't know exactly, I don't recall what the exact turning circle is, but yeah, it's extremely tight and it's very secure. Well, I have found my favorite item of this vehicle, and we're going to talk about that because it's really not a big deal. It doesn't have to be a huge item that's like earth-shattering or, you know, technology breaking. It's just something that we think is unique and kind of cool, that they would go to such a detail. You know, it could be something like that. Or for you, Nathan, I mean, it could be something like, you know, big technology. It doesn't matter.
The deal we have is that it doesn't have to be something that one of the parts that we review. So I can like something on the outside or on the engine or the transmission or something, or Rob can do something on the inside. So it's just overall, what is our favorite part? Or I'm going to say one of our favorite parts, because I don't know that I can pick one out.
No.
And we don't want to be here another 20 minutes having me explain the other favorite parts.
Okay, so now we're back at the dealer, and we want to thank you for joining us today, and we hope you enjoyed our review of the RAV4, 2019 Toyota RAV4. And this again was a limited trim, and we definitely want to thank our friends at Heinz Toyota in Mankato. And as always, subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and you know what? Get out there and go take a ride.
Go take a ride.
For me, Rob,
and for Nathan,
take care, and we'll see you next time. Okay, so as promised, my favorite thing, and it doesn't have to be a big thing or an earth-shattering thing or big technology or big horsepower, it's just, in my case this time, it's something really simple, and I hope you can see it, but inside the door handle, right here, the grooves are cut in it, it's rubber, and it's just a great tactile feel that when you open the door, it's a good, solid, firm pull handle. And I just love that you've got that anti-slip texture to it. And for, you know, it's just the little things that really excite me. And it's the attention to detail of putting something like that on the inside of the door handle that typically people would just go in and put a flat piece of plastic.
Okay, so my favorite overall thing has got to be this digital mirror. That is just way cool. So many times I could have used that in my vehicle. So, you know, just a quick flip of the switch turns it to digital, and then you have a lot of customization control over it. But I absolutely love that. That's my favorite right there.